So it's season 10 of the Lincoln Loco. Incredibly, we've made it 10 seasons with Lincoln and we're still going pretty strong. We're a quarter of the way there now to 5,000 subscribers. So these t-shirts that you can see there, they're still on sale until 5,000 subscribers. So there's still a chance to try and get one. So go to the link there in the description, teespring.com/TomFM5k to see if you can grab yourself a t-shirt. And now then, let's get underway with the new season. Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco. It's season 10 and we have got the first game of the new season in our new stadium against Derby County. Yep, we've moved into the new stadium now. Let me show you. It's all looking nice and shiny. It's a 24,649 all-seater stadium, Grant Brown Park, named after Lincoln City legend Grant Brown. Now, when it was built, we got a little screenshot telling us that apparently it's got an expansion capacity of 49,000. So that's quite a big stadium. Potentially, we could get to 49,000 seats in Lincoln, which would be pretty decent. So in a few years' time, we may look to try and expand it as we probably win the Champions League or something like that. Now, we've been very busy over the summer transfer window trying to get players in. Only 2 players left at the end of their contracts. Ruben Garcia left. He just didn't want to sign a new one. He's not very good. He's gone to Valencia. And then Sakamoto, he never really broke into anyone's first team, has gone to Deportivo La Coruña. He played very well in the Championship, just couldn't do it in the Premier League. So they've both gone. And now we're going to show you all the transfers. We've done record-breaking transfers, and some of them may surprise you. So here we go. All transfers. Angel Gomez has gone. He's gone. £50 million to Arsenal. I know some of you are going to be like, what are you doing there? Angel Gomez was a huge player for us last year. Really, really solid. Played very, very well, especially in European competitions, continentally. 15 assists. That's the record assists total in the Europa League. So he was a strong player for us last year, but a £50 million bid came in from Arsenal. And, well, I kind of had to accept that, really, especially when you think about who we're bringing in instead. Moralha has come in to replace him for £43.5 million, and he is much better. He is much better. 4.5-star current ability, which is absolutely insane. We've brought him in for a lot of money, and he's on a lot of money per week, 160,000. He's a top earner at the club. We've had to splash out on a few wages to try and keep players at the club and also bring some in. So wage has got a bit out of the window this year. We've tried to keep it quite tight, but this guy's come in and he's sort of blown out of the water. But he's got incredible stats if you look at him. Really, really, really solid player. And if you want a glimpse of how good he is, if you look at his history, if we look at his pre-season record here, non-competitive at Lincoln, he got 19 goals in 8 games in pre-season. So he's going to be special. To put that into context, Hammer Time only got 16. So there we go. Liam Coyle has also left for 16.5 million. He just was surplus to requirements, really, essentially. And then these 2 guys were sort of players that we brought in on free transfers years ago, and they just stayed at the club on loan for ages. Now we finally got rid of them for money, so they've gone for a little bit as well. Curtis Jones has gone as well for a little bit. A few players out on loan. So we've sold £80 million worth of player in total and brought in £80 million. So we've sort of broken even there. These 2 players here on the ins, they're both youth players. Don't worry about them, they're not interesting, so ignore them. Now we had to sort out our defence a little bit. We scored the most goals in the league last year, but we also conceded quite a lot. So for 3.2 million, which I think is an absolute steal, Mauro Gomez comes in from Vélez from Argentina. 3.5-star current ability player on the right hand side of defence. Really, really solid. Really, really good. He's better than players that we've got there already in terms of Ferreira. Mertens was actually meant to be better than Ferreira at right back, and he's meant to be a central midfielder. So that kind of shows how weak we were there a little bit. So Gomez comes in as the best one there on that right hand side. Leading player in the Premier League. For 3.2 million, an absolute steal, I think. So he's going to be a fantastic player. Plays for Argentina, so we'll link up with Despacito on this right-hand side and should be pretty decent. So I'm looking forward to seeing what their partnership's going to bring. We've also brought in another centre-back in Aziz Regragui, I think is how you perhaps say his surname. 12 million is a bit more than we should have paid for a player of his 2.5-star current ability, 3-star potential. But at this stage of a transfer window, we were desperate. No defenders really wanted to join us, and ones that were going to join us then got snatched up by like a Barcelona or a Real Madrid, which happened a few times actually, which is really annoying. It's more on the grounds that we haven't got Champions League football. If you want to know why we haven't got Champions League football, watch the last episode, because That'll explain it all to you. Either way, he comes in as backup. Essentially, he's played all his career at Guingamp. He's been alright there, but he comes in as backup, the third best centre-back we've got, which is kind of worrying, actually. Kobayashi has been the subject of many bids, and he wants to leave the club because he's decided he's good enough for Champions League. He said to me, I want to leave to play Champions League. So, he may go at some point, but he's not gone yet. I'm not going to let him go for less than 36 million, which is release fee clause, so he's going to be stuck here, I think. Either way, though, Aziz comes in, he's going to be a pretty solid covering defender, so I wouldn't expect him too much, but when he does play, I think he'll be alright. We also try to get left backs in, but a combination of work permits, other clubs getting them, and not many good ones being available means we haven't got a left back coming in, which means the left back spot is a little bit shaky at the moment, but everywhere else in defence now I think is relatively solid. I know I've done this in a bit of a weird order as well. We've spoken about him and then these two. These two though we'll talk about now, Shaylon and Hugo Corinthians. They've both come in the midfield now. Hugo Corinthians for 3.9 million, again absolute steal I believe. Central midfielder, third best central midfielder at the club, but it's going to be sort of a backup player for the two guys in the middle of Jalapeno and Mertens. Now he's a very, very decent player, 3.5-star current ability, 4-star potential. Played a lot of his career in Portugal, but the past 2 seasons has been really, really solid. So I thought it was probably worth a punt on him. And for 3.9 million, I couldn't really say no. So there we go, 3.9 million spent on this guy. I reckon he's going to be a very, very solid player. As I said, third best midfielder in the club behind Jalapeno and Mertens, but better than Crazy Eyes and Pandolfi. So he sort of has a role at the club, and he'll sort of be the guy that we rely on when these two sort of get a bit tired or injured. So expect to see him, but not a huge amount, I'm going to say. And then finally, for £17 million, a bit weirdly for me, I've bought an old player. Or at least he's old enough for me to call him an old player. He's 29 years old, which is a lot older than I normally go for. But 4-star current ability, 4-star potential. Attacking midfielder, Brazilian player. Now, we know that Diaz was incredible last season at attacking midfield position, but he's only 2.5-star current ability. And that always worries me slightly. So we're going to give Diaz a chance this season, but I did want to bring someone else in who's better and probably more experienced and generally is going to be all round better than Diaz. So Shaylon comes in and has had a long career playing in Brazil before moving to China for free, but we got him for £17 million. And considering he had got 10 goals and 3 assists last season in 11 games, I think he must be a pretty decent player. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he performs. He's got a fantastic goal scoring record, so if he can do that again this season for us, it's a win-win situation. And they are all of the transfers, so not too many, but I think we've improved where we needed to improve and things like that. So let's go and have a look at the lineup for today's game against Derby County. So Barış has just signed a new contract. He starts himself in goal. There's not much in it now between Bacholk and Masevic, so Bacholk is going to get this start today on the grounds that he's got a lot of potential to fulfil, so he'll start today alongside Patino, Benteke and new boy Gomez. An unchanged central midfield of Mertens and Jalapeno, just in behind a new look attacking midfield of Morala, Shaylon and Despacito, and then Hammer Time of course is starting up front. However, Mark Hall, bookmakers put him as third favourite to become Premier League top goal scorer when Hammer Time's not even in there, so Mark Hall may have to get a few more games this season than he did last year. I say that, you know, he did lose the Europa League for us, so maybe he won't get any games. Kickoff is upon us here at our brand new stadium, and let me just zoom out a little bit just so we can get the goals in the pitch there. There we go, that's all right. Right, new season, new stadium. There should be a whole 26,000 here, however it's meant to be, 24,000, 26,000, something like that. Patino, very early on, has gashed his head and is now probably going to have to come off at some point. So Aziz, if he's on the bench, I don't think he is, may have to come on. We've got a chance now early on, though, against Derby County. Our first attack of the game. It's pinged around the area and it's not quite gone the back of the net yet, but Morala puts it back in, but it goes straight back to him again. He puts it into Mertens, into Hammer Time. And Hammer Time has scored the first goal of the Premier League season for Lincoln in the brand new stadium. In fact, I tell you what, I don't normally do this, do I? On the grounds that the... oh, God, what are we doing? Look, the 3D on this is awful. And now I can hear the fan on my computer, like the CPU, going absolutely crazy trying to record and do this. It's very laggy as well. I just want to see the stands, really. Can I see the stands? I want to see what the new stadium looks like. I mean, I can see it's got a corner, which is more than Central Bank has. We've just missed the post. Can I get a different angle? What does data? I mean, data analyst kind of shows it a little bit more. It's a 2-tier section, I suppose, around the ground. I assume it's just like a bowl, basically. It's put in the. We scored another one. It was behind the table at the time. I do apologise for that. Again, it's not the best 3D engine on my laptop and things like that, so I can't really show you much behind the goal. Will that show us the stadium a little bit more? We'll wait for the next highlight and see, shall we? By the way, 2-0 up, top of the league already, so let's try and stay there all season. The pre-season predictions predict us to finish 7th this year, which I think was about the same as last year. Oh, look at that view. Oh, we've got an amazing stadium. Oh, I'm liking this. I'm not quite sure how we expand it to 50,000 though. Do they just put another tier on top, do you reckon, or something like that? I'm not sure, but this is lagging loads now. I'm sure it's doing that for you as well. I do apologise. I've just clicked on that while we scored a goal. I'll go back, shall I? See what happens. Let's watch it fully. And I mean, this looks awful on the ground. It really does look quite bad. It is lagging a lot. This is why I don't do 3D engines. People ask me all the time, put it in 3D. This is why I don't. It looks really bad and lags a lot. Mertens, though, through to Shayla. It was a bad back pass, and Hammer Time was just there. Now let's put it back in 2D before we get carried away. I mean, I've got to say, 3-0 up on the first day of the season within 30 minutes is pretty good going. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do with the rest of the season if this is the kind of start that we have to it. Hammer Time, of course, already shown that he's incredible still from last season and is going to score a 4th now. He's got his 4th goal already of the season. 1 game, 30 minutes, he's already got 4 goals. I love him. I love him to bits. So he's trying to answer back the bookies. The bookies didn't put him down for top goal scorer of the season, but they should have done, and he's shown them why, basically. Mark Cool, 3rd favourite, not got a goal yet. He's not got a start yet either, but he's not got a goal yet, so that's goes to show something. We're trying another move, though, down this right-hand side. The Argentinians trying to combine there. Gomez plays to Despacito. Hammer Time, hits the crossbar. You would have put money on him scoring that. You would have put money on him scoring it to get his 5th of the game and 5th of the season already. But he hasn't. But Gomez has another chance now to put the ball in, and it's cleared away again. Looks like there's one more highlight potentially before half-time. It looks like it's coming towards us now. Morella lost the ball just briefly there. He's not shown too much of that quality that he showed in pre-season yet, but Despacito puts it into Hammer Time, who again hits the crossbar. It's 2 times hit the crossbar, and twice it's been Hammer Time looking for a double hat-trick. Well, you know, pretty dominant first half there. I'm pleased with your performance. Keep it going. Barishia doesn't really care, but everyone else looks delighted. That's all right. Come on then, boys. Another 4 goals, and that would be delightful. Thank you. Another 4 goals, and that would be make my season really. We'd be nearly 10% of the way there to scoring as many goals as we scored last season. Right, I think the time's come now to take Patino off. Actually, I did mean to take him at half time, but I've forgotten now. Kobayashi is on the bench. He's going to have to come on now. I know he's not very happy at the moment, but he will be when he starts playing games and winning games for us. So we'll get Champions League next season, Kobayashi, but you probably won't be here next season. I'm going to sell you at some point if you're going to argue with me all the time. Looks like Hammer Time may have just taken a knock there as we've come off. He's actually been treated down there, you can see. So we're going to take him off then. He's scored 4 goals. That's fine by me. We'll bring Hall on instead. See if he can grab himself a goal or 2 to show why he should be the top goal scorer in the Premier League this season. He scored quite a few last year, to be fair. I'm sure he scored like 15 in like 16 starts or something weird like that. He did pretty well, to be fair. So I can see why they've put him as a top goal scoring candidate. But it's more based on his goals per 90 minutes, which he got a lot of on the grounds that he was a substitute quite a lot and scored from the bench quite a lot. So I think that's probably why he's been made top goal scorer nominee. Well, it doesn't look like we're actually going to add to our goal scoring tally, which is a little bit upsetting, actually, I've got to say to you. Saying that, though, I'm being a bit harsh, aren't I? We've won 4-0 on the opening day of the season. That's good going, so I'll take that completely. They've got a free kick now in these closing moments, so it's been put wide, and I feel like, I'm not quite sure what that highlight was even for, but there's a minute left on the clock now, but I feel like it's just going to be the ending highlight of the game. Bacholk clears it now. Morella, who hasn't shown his quality in today's game. I guess he's just a bit nervous making his full debut. It's not his full debut, actually. We played a Charity Shield the other day and we lost 3-0 to Man United, so that technically was his first full debut. But no one cares about that game, do they? So we won't talk about it. And there we go. Lincoln 4, Derby County 0. Hammer Time with all 4. Could have had 6 if the crossbar wasn't there, or was a little bit higher up. But, you know, I'll take that. Decent result. Tino is out for a few days with a gashed head, but we can get him to play through injury with some equipment and stuff like that. So we'll do that for him. Nothing about Hammer Time, though, so I presume he just got a bit of a knock and he's all right. Right, next episode then. We're going to do the Bournemouth game and then a European group stage game, a Europa League group stage game. We don't know who we got yet. That's the thing. We don't know who we're playing yet. I'm not sure when the draw is, so I'll let you know when it is. And in fact, we may even do the group stage game in West Ham. I'll decide when we get the draw and see how good the teams are and things like that. But we will play that game in the next episode. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, make sure you do drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I will see you next time for some more Lincoln Loco